I have the pleasure of introducing Colleen Lukoff to talk about our new fundraising toolkit. I've worked with Colleen for the last 2 years. She's our development director, and she started just over 2 years ago. Last conference was her first conference with us, and she came to us with 30 years of experience. She is very big picture oriented. She is very interested in the analytics and finding the best ways to fundraise and provide the funds to make the NBIA Disorders Association function. But I also, over the last couple of years, have found out just how compassionate and kind she is and thoughtful. She's extremely tenacious, but at the same time, she is always considerate of the people who are doing the fundraising, the fundraisers themselves, and the motivations behind why they give and why we care so much. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Colleen to talk about the new fundraising toolkit. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. He was so gracious to be our chair, our first fundraising development committee chair. So today I was going to talk about our toolkit and also some other brief services. I'm not going to read you the toolkit because you have one in your packets, and it's also on our website for anybody who loses their copy or wants another one. And this toolkit was created in conjunction with and by support of the development committee because, again, it's for you. It's not for me. It's to make it be more useful for you all to help us raise money. And I just want to post this right now. We will be, after our morning talks, asking you to do an online survey. We have some paper copies as well, but the online version is easier for us. Jeff will put this up again later after our talks, but if you did want to start, I won't tell on you if you're multitasking here. So our organization has a long and solid history. We were established in 1996. We have a solid history of raising funds and having volunteer fundraisers and assisting those people. We also raise dollars in two main ways, but all of them are in support of our mission. So we have the supporting of the families and the educating the public and accelerating research with collaborators from around the world. That's our mission, and we achieve that in several ways. We also, just to let you know, organizationally speaking, we have the platinum level transparency on candid.org, which used to be GuideStar. So if you do want to check on us or have your potential funders look into our organization, they will see that we are considered a very reputable organization. And that's very important. There are more than 1 million nonprofits in our country. There are lots of ways people can spend their money. And we just want to let you know that although we are a small organization, we are very reputable, and we do put the monies where they're supposed to go, and we're very transparent about our organization. So our 990, which is our tax form, shows how much we spend or don't spend on office space, such as it's in Patty's house, and we don't pay rent for that, and we don't have a lot of staff. We have 3 half-time staff, plus our contract helpers that will help us with our technology and with our books. So we are here to support you, and we have fundraising software for your use, and we can help guide you on your planning for any fundraising activities. We have volunteers to assist you. Our development committee members, I put them in touch with people who want to do things, and I know some of you heard the panel discussion that Amber Denton led with our other families that did fundraising, so you can see those people are available to you to help you thinking about how you might organize yourself. We also have items for you to use. I have some banners, Paul. They're over here if you want to take whatever one you want to take for the, they're against the wall. He's going to take it to the $1 Million Bike Ride. So we have several banners. Normally we mail them off, but once we knew we were going to be here, we saved a little money and are going to hand it off. We also have lapel pins and some NBIA swag. Like right now, we have our beautiful socks. And we also have samples of materials to modify for you, so you don't have to start from a blank page if you're looking to do something. One of the things we want to do as a goal for the next 2 years with our development committee, by the way, we had some wonderful people come to consider joining it last night, so I'm so glad to have them be part of it, our group. Hopefully many of them will join, is to have some more samples that I will send out, selectively, but charts on how to keep track of collections for silent auction items and forms to put together for silent auctions or other flyers to put together. And so all of those things are available to you if you want to work with us on that. So in your packet, in your toolkit, it was on the right-hand side when you got here behind the picnic sheet. So it's a several-page-long document, and we're just talking about how you can think through what might work for you. So how you can make it work is, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed when you hear some of the stories of people putting on big events. That's lovely to do. It does bring in a lot of money. It does bring awareness, but it's certainly not the only way to be helpful. And it's not the right thing for everybody to try to do. So we don't want you to feel guilted into thinking that if you don't do that, you're not serving your organization. You certainly are. We appreciate your efforts. We're here to help you. We want you to help you choose something or some things to do and to be part of Team NBIA and Fundraise. And one thing I just want to say, whatever you choose to do, you will be telling your own story. That is really what moves people to give. There's a lot of data about a lot of things that motivate people, but really, I've always believed as a fundraiser that you make a decision to give from your heart. You use your head to judge, oh, is that a good organization? Is that trustworthy? But the first part is you decide to do it is from your heart. And in our case, we have some amazing stories. I talked with one family who wanted to do fundraising because they had just gotten a diagnosis, but they had not yet told their child they had this disorder. And I discouraged them until after they'd had that conversation, because you don't want to cause harm. So be thoughtful. I know one of our families that raised a lot of money in the last 2 years used this as an opportunity to actually tell their friends about it through this fundraising activity by just writing a letter saying, this is what's happening in my life, and if you would like to give, and giving them a link to a giving opportunity. And they did. And that was very moving for that family and surprising to them. And I've heard that repeated over and over today and other times. So just to let you know, telling your own story and whatever detail you wish to share, but expect that you will need to do something personal. So there are technical ways to help you get the job done. And we have a number of them. I'm going to go show you some screenshots of our new Salsa Engage platform. But you can make your own giving page by one of our platforms and one of our campaigns, building on that one. And you can set up for yourself how you want to be notified. So if you want to be notified every time someone makes a donation, you can choose to have that happen. You can say, no, I just want to go log in and look myself later and look at that. So you can control your own destiny, so to speak. And you can tell your own story on that purpose. You can also just share with people other links to other things and let them know through email or other social media methods. Or you can do what some people do, which is to put it in their holiday letter. And just, if you mail it out or email it out, but just share with people, give them a chance to support you through this organization. Some people like to write checks. My mother still does not use a debit card. She's technically savvy, but she doesn't wish to give in that way. So happy to take checks. So we are able to, if you do have a giving page, add the value of the check onto your giving page so it shows up in the totals, so everybody can be part of it. But we can take care of that for you. It's very easily done. So right now, and in your packages, you have these listed as well. We have a number of what we call campaigns that are already set up in our Salsa Engage platform. These are campaigns where we have told the story in general terms about these various issues. So the first one is the family support. We're calling the Providing Hope campaign. This is the fund of funds that we use to pay for our website, pay for our newsletter, pay for the people who produce those things, pay for the running of the organization. That enables us to talk to you on the phone and talk to you in person and send you materials and support you in all the ways we do. And then the other research areas are here where funds go straight to out in grant form to researchers who are working on your disorders. We also have an open call research fund that people can give to. And so that is not directed to a particular disorder. We use that in various ways to, again, alter research. One of the benefits of this particular platform that we chose is that if someone makes a gift through one of these campaigns or a page you set up on one of the campaigns, that money goes straight there. It's actually showing up in our books within the hour of that donation, and it's really clearly delineated. So there's no question that that money is going in that way. I know sometimes people have had anxiety. Did you put the money where we want? If you email us, and if it's not going through these platform pages, if you email us and say, this is what I want my funds to go, we make sure that happens. Again, we only have 3 half-time staff, so it's not like a big bureaucratic organization where monies will get lost. We put it where we say we will. So in the toolkit, again, I list the campaigns. I wanted to show you our current website that does, this is from as of this morning, what our website looks like. And you can see here the campaigns listed, and there are links on there. And just below there is a link to this toolkit that you can, again, download if you wish to do that. And you can see up on the upper right the transparency from Candid, the platinum level. So we're very proud of that. So here's a sample Salsa Engage, what we call landing page. So on those campaigns that I showed you, these are pages that are, somebody clicks on that, it can go in. I've chosen to show the BPAN page, but you can see this large photo. We'll be updating that with the new one, the one that you took yesterday. But this shows, again, the breadth of the organization. Now, this does render in 3 forms. It renders, as here is displayed, on a screen of a computer, but it also displays on tablets, and it displays on cell phones. If you choose to make a page of your own, you can actually preview the rendering, how it shows in those different forms. But that's one of the reasons we chose this platform to use. The other reason is that it was tying into our current database. So when we eliminated another software package and chose to go this way, it cost us a whole $5 a month more than it did the other solution. So Matt was really happy to take that to the board and say, yeah, for $60 a year, we get a lot of extra features. We thought that was a good value, right? Yeah. So we have this landing page, and so I'm just showing you screen as we scroll down. If I can make this work. So this is scrolling down on that same page. There's a story about BPAN. You can see the $1 Million Bike Ride is highlighted. After next weekend or after that's over, I'll modify that and take that off. But you can see some of the language there, and then links. And on the bottom, you can see there's choices for people to make a donation directly right from here, or to become a fundraiser. And then also to return. If you're a fundraiser already, you can just go straight here. It'll take you to your own page, which has its own URL. So these are the people who have already made campaigns. And again, as this is a scrolling down, if you can visualize that. So their campaigns are showing up here. They have a chance to name their campaign, to put a goal for their campaign, to modify it in whatever way they wish. Those roll together. I did not show this on here, but it does roll together as a total. So if anybody wants to see how much is coming in for BPAN or for PCAN or for MPAN, any of the disorders that are there, they'll roll together and display in that way. And they can, again, modify, again, how frequently they hear, what they want to say, what responses they want to send to their donors. I've chosen to give you a picture of just this one because this person did not make any modifications. She just took the template that I had put in and just put her own child's name and a goal in there, and that's all she had to do to make that work. But she could have done a lot more, and the other ones, if you go on your own time, you can click and see what people have done. And again, they can have ties to your social media. So if you want to, their feed will show up, they can post it on their social media. They can use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and there are two more, and I can't remember now what they are, but those are the primary ones people are using in our country. So that's a tool that we have available to you at no charge. It works smoothly. We're really happy with it. We are moving away from First Giving, which some of you do have some pages on. So as of June 21, those will go away. If you still haven't migrated over, I have been copying what you have in First Giving, and I'll work with you individually to help you populate a new page if that's something you'd like to do. We don't want you to lose that work that you have done. Excuse me. One of the reasons we moved away from that platform, a couple of reasons, but one of them, it didn't integrate with our other stuff. So everything that was entered there had to be manually re-entered in our other platform, in our main database. And that was very time-consuming, as you could well imagine. So one of the things we really want to make sure you understand is take time to develop your plan. In the toolkit, I've organized, starting on page 1, if you only have 5 to 15 minutes, what kind of things you could do to help fundraise. Everybody has different amounts of time, everybody has different resources, so we want you to think through what you can do. Don't try to put on a big party if you live in a small town and don't know anybody. Don't do a golf tournament if you don't golf. Those kind of things, just those are basic tips, but we are here to help you think through what you want to do. If someone else has already done that, I know a gentleman came up to me during the conference and said, I'd like to do a run. Well, we had a group that did a run last year. I made a page for them. It's turned off now, but I still saved it. And so we're going to repopulate that, repurpose that. And it had sign-ups for the different lengths of running and the different pathways. And they wanted shirts and what the sizes were and the permission slips, all those things were all built in. So he did not have to go out and make a website of his own. This works very, very easily. And so we're happy to support you in that way. And we'll make that happen for him, too. Then that's why reaching out to help from others, again, are those people you've met here, you've heard speak, and who are on our committees are happy to help you. And we're always happy to share what you have achieved as well. And when you're done, please, please tell us what you did. Make sure you take some pictures. I scramble every newsletter. Patty's always saying, where are the pictures? And I know I harass some of you to get good pictures. Cell phones are fine if they're set to high-res photos, because on print they don't work well if they're not good resolution. We really prefer if you have a close-up shot of a couple of people, and we would like you to identify the people so we don't have to come back and bug you about that. We really want to share your successes. It inspires other people. I can't tell you how many times I have heard, just at this conference alone, how many people were inspired by something someone else did. And we're trying it because, so-and-so did it, I can try it too. And just outside, as I was coming in to do this presentation, I was out there hearing Amber Denton giving advice to someone else about something, and I appreciate her wisdom and her generosity and all the rest of you for sharing with each other. It's just very special to witness that. So I also want to point out that we have, like I said, the banners. Paul, thank you for getting that banner. We also have available to you, I have in your packet, in your toolkit on the last page, there's a sample letter. If you go and are asking people to contribute to an event or want to sign up and they ask you, are you a nonprofit organization? Are you with a nonprofit organization? I have this letter that I sign that has your name on it and says that you're authorized to work with us, and that please will they support your efforts. And we give you our 501c3, which is our tax ID number, and for the United States, that's in other countries, I don't know the rules there, but so that shows people that you are associated with a legitimate not-for-profit organization. Now, I also want to speak to you a little bit about one of the jobs I feel like I have is to help keep you legal and to give you some, we're not attorneys, but to give you some thoughts about this. When people make a donation to our organization, it is a tax deductible to the full extent allowed by law if it's an actual donation. In the package, we talk about not doing raffles because that is not legal in most states. You'll need to check your own rules in your community about that. And if people buy a ticket for something, then it's considered a chance. So it's not a tax-deductible event as well. If you look at somebody who might purchase something, an auction, either live or silent auction, that is not tax-deductible unless the amount they pay is greater than the value of what they receive. And so again, we can advise you on how to make sure the thank yous are reflecting properly, because people do not give for tax purposes, but you don't want to get in trouble with them and their taxes either, because they can get kind of cranky about that, I'm sure, just like I know I would. So we can help you think that through and understand some of the issues. One of our development committee members has experience in the food industry, and he was advising on how there are rules about serving alcohol and what kind of organizations to check with. We had one of our fundraising people, I don't know, Sid, are you still in the room? I don't know. The Currens were looking at how to handle the alcohol at one of their events and learning which county had which rule, and we live here, but the event's there, and it was kind of gnarly to figure that out, wasn't it? So we have some help to help you think that through as well. And that's really all I had to share with you today. I hope that you take time to read the toolkit, think through some things you can do. More complicated things are going to take more time to plan. You're going to need to develop a team of volunteers to help you do that. But simpler things can be done just alone. Like I said, we have broken it up by how long it takes your time to do it. And we are so hopeful that you will help, and grateful for those of you who have. And I'm happy to take any questions if anybody has any, or comments. As a question here, do we have a microphone? I'm sorry, I should have checked. Thank you. Marianne's going to get a microphone for you. I hope that you are happy with the platform, and we're open to suggestions. I can make quite a few modifications. I'm learning still about it, but we can do quite a lot. We also use it to send bulk emails to you, and we'll be adding some other features that we want to do with it too. Okay, so question.
Yeah, this is fantastic. First of all, thank you very much. I think it's great that we have that portal now available to be able to link to directly.
Thank you.
And the letter to kind of legitimize what we're doing. So one of the things that I've been thinking about is, as we lay in bed at night trying to figure out how to raise money, do you have any data or any experience or any recommendations on the time of year that is better? So for example, come the holidays, people are buying presents and spending a lot of money, but then on summertime, they may be on vacation. Like, what's the best time of year to maximize giving?
That's a great question. If you look at the data in the industry, a lot of giving does happen year-end, but it's also very competitive. So everybody who's out there trying to get food baskets and toy baskets, they're all asking for money then too. And so I think you have to think through your own situation and figure out. I know someone was mentioning one of the ways people can raise money is to have like this, Kendra Scott, for example, if you have a party there, they give 20% of the proceeds to us. So someone had done an event tied to a holiday, and so there was an increased sales from that. And that's money that we do get. It's not direct philanthropy, but it is monies that come to our organization. Every community has its own unique dates. We were even in talking with our international partners, the other NBIA sister organizations in the 9 other countries. They couldn't come up with one month that was going to work for everybody because this month was better for that and that better. So I would just say you need to think through your own situation. I'm happy to talk with you about it offline and think through what might work for you. Thank you for the question, and thank you for supporting the new platform. I appreciate that. Ms. Amber.
I can add to that. Something that I have always thought about was you wanted to kind of think about how much you're asking your participants to spend. So if you're wanting, for instance, we've done Kendra Scott events where they don't normally come in and spend a whole lot of money, but they might be looking for a gift. So they might come in and spend $50 or $100. Whereas whenever they come to one of our big events where we have big silent auctions and we're asking them, that's our big fundraiser. We don't necessarily want to have that around a time when people are traditionally spending a lot of money, like Christmas and the holidays. So we try to space that in the calendar somewhere where people are not traditionally, having more out of pocket than in general. But we found that like the Kendra Scott events where you're buying small gifts for people really do help to have it around the holidays. So like around Christmas time, or I'm a teacher, we typically have it before we go back to school, because a lot of teachers like to go out and get themselves jewelry before the school year. So it's just kind of strategic planning on your part and thinking about how much you're asking your participants to actually shell out for your event.
Great, thank you, Amber. And then I would just say avoid April 15th, because people kind of feel poor around then. Someone had a question over here. Thank you, Marianne.
Hi, we're kind of new to this whole NBIA life. Our son was just recently diagnosed this past fall. And we have Pecan, so I've been doing a lot of fundraising for Spoonbill, and I don't think I realized that we can fundraise for NBIA's association also. So this Salsa's page, how much of the proceeds from that page are given directly to you? Does the platform take a percentage of the donations, or do you get 100% of those proceeds? Every
vendor that you deal with, any credit cards, there's a little bite that comes out, and that's the same true here.
Okay.
So it's a very small amount. It's 2.5% or something, which is, again, if you were making a donation with a credit card, that's the fee. If you mail us a check, then we just put the check in, and there's no cost at all to us, other than the time that it takes to put the check in. So
okay,
yeah, it's not like a big bite at all. It's, again, the same. It's a credit card processing fee that if you use a debit card anywhere, it works. Yes, Amber. I'm sorry. Let's wait till Marianne comes back.
Sorry.
She's going to get her exercise today.
I need it.
When somebody makes a donation to that page, it'll actually ask them if they would like to cover the cost of the fee. So that way their whole donation does go to NBIA. So you might see a donation for like $28 or $27 and some odd cents. So because that means they've covered the cost of the fee.
Yes, thank you. That's a good point.
Anyone that is going to send in a large amount of money, I typically ask them to write a check and send it in, so that way that's not a problem.
I don't normally do this whole fundraising thing, so I've kind of been learning as I go, but I have found that PayPal has a fundraising platform, I guess you could call it, kind of like the GoFundMe page mentality, but they're called PayPal pools, and they don't take a cut, from what I can see, of a PayPal pool. So the person, if they're using a credit card, would pay a fee, but typically a lot of people have PayPals linked to their bank accounts, and it's free. So if they donate $25 and their PayPal is linked to a bank account, that whole $25 goes into the PayPal pool. So that's what I've been doing, and then I wash that through a separate bank account with a check and write the check whole proceeds to Spoonbill.
To the organization.
For now.
Yeah.
And I've also found that, just while we're talking fundraising, a lot of large chain restaurants like Mod Pizza, I don't know if you all have these types of restaurants where you are, but they'll do spirit nights.
Yes.
So we are trying to do a spirit night every single month, and it's super easy. You just say, hey, raising money, here's my letter, please raise money for us, and they'll give you 20% of the total proceeds for the whole day, as long as you just say, hey, we're here for Jameson.
And I've
really
talked,
easy.
that's great. And I have talked about that in the toolkit. I didn't want to bore you with something you could read on your own, but thank you. Thank you. That's great to say. And also, for example, you can sign up with iGive and Amazon both they have platforms where you can have a small percentage of your sales go to our organization too, and we get thousands of dollars a year from that. It kind of keeps you top of mind and people too, which I think is helpful. Another question?
I was just going to mention what you had mentioned. It was mentioned yesterday. Even we forget at times is when you're buying something from Amazon, go to the Amazon Smile, because we spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month. So far, it says here, we're looking at the Amazon site, NBIA Disorders Association, so far 2,400. Is that for the year or?
As of May.
As of May. So every little bit helps.
Right, right. And what's also interesting with those other things is that they'll have specials. Like this time, it's 5% of something, or 1% of something else, and 2.5% of something else. So it varies. So those are easy things that you can do certainly, and encourage your friends and family members to do too. It's no cost to them. So it's a way to help. Matching gifts. You can double. Like we have the $1 Million Bag Grade we talk about, but you could have your employer. If they have a matching gift program. If we're not on the list, sometimes they have a list established. You can ask it to be added. We have the paperwork. Again, I'm happy to send you the forms for that. And there's another comment coming over question here. So that's another way to amplify your giving.
I think this will be the last
Okay.
question.
Yeah, I have no idea what time it is, so let's trust y'all.
I was wondering if you've ever considered registering for the federal fundraising.
We did look into that, and we weren't eligible. I can look at it again. They continue to change the modify that. The combined federal campaign you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, and I know United Way is another area to consider, but those are per county. But yeah, the combined federal campaign, I looked at it last fall and we weren't eligible, but I'm happy to look at it again if you think that's worthwhile.
Thank you.
Yeah, all of those ideas, please. I'm reachable. I give you my voice line because I can sit there with my Plantronics headset on and I have my hands free to look up things for you. So I prefer that. That's why I put that as the first number. But of course, during the conference, I'm not there. So we're so appreciative of your help and your support. You saw earlier when I reported on how many dollars has been raised by the efforts of all of your families here and not here. And we're really relying upon you, and we honor you. We want to be very respectful of what you want to have done with your money, and we do that. So thank you so much for your time and for your assistance for all the other families, not just your own. This really does help everybody. Thank you so much.